was 11 years old, and I could never have imagined how my life and that of my family would change. I walked into the hospital a carefree 11-year-old, and 3 days later I left the hospital with a bag full of supplies that would keep me alive from then on. I vividly remember leaving the hospital hand in hand with my mum and dad, ready to brave type 1 diabetes. But no one could have prepared me for what I was actually about to face. Like, the doctors and nurses can prepare you for the physical side, like giving injections and testing blood sugar, but they can't prepare you for what you're going to face emotionally. And so I started my life of blood sugar testing, injections, pump changes, hypos, ketones, boluses, basals. The list goes on, and the fine art of calculating carbohydrates. Life with type 1 diabetes is hard, and I don't think I could describe it any other way. To put it simply, it's hard. But type 1 diabetes isn't so simple. It's not just giving insulin and checking your blood sugar, and there's so much more in between. Like things like the food I eat, my mood, stress, temperature, illness, everything can affect my blood sugar. And there's not a single moment that I can forget about it, and I can't forget about it. I wish I could. And I really wish that just once I could take a day off and not have to feel unwell from high or low blood sugars. And I wish that my fingers didn't have to feel the prick of a needle 6 times a day. And I wish that I didn't have to fire a needle into my stomach every 3 days for my insulin pump. But the reality of my life with type 1 diabetes is that I have no choice. I wish I could fall asleep at night without worrying what blood sugars are, and I wish I wasn't afraid to fall asleep at night sometimes. But that's my reality, and nothing but a cure is going to change that. My life is dependent on a vial of liquid that keeps me alive, but it also has the potential to kill me if I take too much. It's a delicate balancing act. But however, without it, I really wouldn't be here 5 years later. And on top of that, I face the risk of devastating complications like blindness, amputation, kidney disease, and nerve damage. And short-term ones like passing out from extreme low blood sugar or a coma from extreme high blood sugar. At 16 years old, things like that shouldn't be on my mind. And there have been many times where I've just wanted to give up. And I have spent nights crying over it because I feel so fed up of life with type 1 diabetes. And I know there are things worse than type 1, but that doesn't change the fact that it can still take someone's life. And it doesn't change the fact that my life is in my own hands 24/7. And I think it's one of the very few chronic diseases in which the management lies solely with the person who has it and their families, and that's a really heavy burden to carry. I've known about JDRF pretty much since the day I was diagnosed, and I was given a blue grocery bag by the nurses. It was a JDRF bag, and inside it had a little book, especially for children. And it would be the very book that taught me just what happened to my body and why my life changed the way it did. This year I was co-chair of JDRF's Type 1 Parliament event, and 100 people with Type 1 descended on Parliament to explain to MPs what it's like to have Type 1, and asked them to support us with more funding for research. It was a fantastic event with a powerful message, which was the Count Me In campaign. My fingertips had little pinpricks gathered all over them from being pricked so much, and my stomach has scars from the infusion sites. And when I was on injections before giving my pump, my legs and stomach would literally constantly have bruises on them. My life revolves around needles. And I'm 16 and it's bad enough for me, but think about all the small children who are afraid, and the parents have to literally chase them around the house to inject them with something that they don't understand is keeping them alive. So far in my life, I've had about 5,110 injections, 365 pump changes, and 10,950 finger prick tests. And by the time I'm 65, I will have had 7,713 pump changes and 138,840 finger prick tests. And all of this is 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and 7 days a week. But for me, the biggest number of all is 0, and that is the number of days that I will have off in my life. The number of days without type 1, the number of days without carbohydrate counting, finger pricking, and without worrying. And I can't get a break from this disease, and when I'm on days out with my family, diabetes doesn't stop. And the same goes when I'm with my friends or at school. And even when I'm sleeping, diabetes is awake. And that's why I'd like to ask you to pledge your support to an amazing JDRF research project. It's a project that is happening right here in London and would change those numbers for me and the 400,000 other people living with type 1. Professor Peter Jones and his team are looking at encapsulation and how we can keep insulin-producing cells cells safe from the immune system. In people with type 1 diabetes, the body is attacking the insulin-producing islet cells located in the pancreas, and eventually there are not enough cells left, and the person can no longer make their own insulin. We already have the ability to replace the damaged cells by carrying out a transplantation, but currently they only last for around 3 years before they too are destroyed by the immune system. And we need to protect the cells from the immune system by surrounding them with a protective layer. And the immune system will be kept out, but the cells will be able to get nutrients and release insulin into the blood. Sounds really complicated, but it was described to me as working like a tea bag. Professor Jones' research looks at developing a nano-encapsulation coating for insulin-producing cells by shrinking the size of the protective layer or keeping the cells in as small a tea bag as possible. And then the cells can be transplanted into more sites into the body, including the blood supply to the liver, where they will be able to work effectively. Every single day I live in the hope that there will be a cure, and when I'm feeling down about type 1 diabetes, one of the things that keeps me going is the faith that it will happen. And I want to believe that I will not be living with this disease for the rest of my life. And I told you my counting statistics of when I'm 65, but I can only hope that type 1 diabetes will be a thing of the past by the time I reach that age. Type 1 diabetes doesn't just affect the person who has it either, and it affects the people around them too, like the family. And I hate that type 1 diabetes bears a burden on the people that I love. My parents have had many sleepless nights due to diabetes as well, and they spend nights up testing my blood sugar when I'm unwell, and they have spent nights in A&E with me when I've been in diabetic ketoacidosis from high blood sugar. And I know that it breaks their hearts that they can't take it away from me, and it breaks their heart to know that I face an uncertain future of type 1 diabetes. And to tell you the truth, it scares me as well. Professor Jones's research could bring mine and the 400,000 other people's and their family dream of cure one step closer. It will be life-changing, and once a year it will be a small procedure to insert the cells into your body, but then you will be free from type 1, free from testing and free from carbohydrate counting, and the burden that is type 1. And it's hard to imagine what it would feel like if I was diagnosed at 11 years old, and I lived 11 years of my life just as everyone else around me. I didn't need to go to hospital appointments every 3 months or worry about blood sugars, or draw blood from my fingers to check my blood sugar, or give myself insulin. And at just 11 years old, my body's ability to sustain life on its own was taken away by type 1 diabetes. And at just 11 years old, myself and my family had to learn how to literally keep me alive. JDRF and research projects like Peter's give me hope. Peter's project gives me hope that I won't have this condition for my whole life, and tonight the opportunity to play a part in changing lives, and to make my county and statistics a long-forgotten memory. So please pledge your support to Peter Jones' project tonight, because the amazing impact that this research can have on mine and thousands of other people's lives is enormous. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Now, look, if you haven't had a chance to